From Chicago's skyline to the hills of the Shawnee Forest, the land of Lincoln is as beautiful and diverse as its 11.5 million residents. More than 137,000 roadways help bring all that diversity and beauty together and make places like Galena and Elizabethtown easily accessible, especially if you have one of these and one of these. To get an Illinois driver's license, you have to go to a driver's services facility and pass one of these. To do that, study this booklet and watch this videotape.
Hello, I'm Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White. This program provides you with information to help you pass the Illinois driver's license exams. Information from this video was taken from the Illinois Rules of the Road Manual, which you can pick up at any Illinois driver's services facility. The manual goes over Illinois laws and also provides safety tips that will help you to be a safe and responsible driver. It is my goal as Illinois Secretary of State to make Illinois roads as safe as humanly possible. So whether you're on the expressway, a city street, or a rural road, please ensure your welfare and the welfare of others by driving safely.
First, that means buckling up. You and passengers in the front seat must wear safety belts, and kids under 4 years old must be secured in child safety seats. If not, you may have to pay a fine and court costs. But fines shouldn't be your motivation for obeying the law. You and your passengers' well-being should. Safety belts save lives and reduce injuries. After everyone's buckled up, drive with both hands on the steering wheel and don't speed. Obeying posted limits helps you avoid tickets and one of the leading causes of accidents, excessive speed, because it helps you maintain control of your vehicle at all times. Keeping both hands on the wheel is important too, to help recover from a skid, blown tire, or veering off the road. If you do veer off the road, don't slam on the brakes or swing sharply back onto the pavement. Keep a good, firm grip on the wheel with both hands and ease off the gas as you move back onto the road. If you have a blown tire, it's also important to ease off the gas and keep a firm grip on the wheel before pulling over safely to the shoulder. Again, don't hit the brakes. And don't brake in a skid either, because braking makes it impossible for your tires to regain traction, which you need to straighten your vehicle. Stay calm, ease off the gas, and steer into the direction of the skid. Every Illinois driver should know how to recover from a skid because they often occur in bad weather, and that's what we get. Rain, sleet, snow, and ice make roads slick and send cars into ditches or other vehicles. If you can, don't drive in bad weather, but if you must, be careful and make sure your headlights are on if your wipers are on, and slow down. Doing that will also help you avoid hydroplaning, which is caused by driving too fast in wet conditions. Slow down when you approach bridges in cold weather. They freeze before surrounding pavement and may stay frozen even when the rest of the road is clear and dry. Also, keep enough space between you and the vehicle in front of you. Most rear-end collisions are caused by vehicles following too closely. 2 seconds is about right. You can determine desirable space between you and the car in front by using a sign as a marker. When the car in front passes it, count.
1001, 1000.
If you pass the marker before you count 2 seconds, slow down. In bad weather, a 4-second space is usually safe. Also slow down in a fog. If you can, avoid this driving situation. But if you must, drive within your field of vision and use your low-beam headlights no matter what time of day. High beams work well at night when other vehicles aren't around, but in traffic, switch to low beams at least 500 feet before meeting a vehicle from the opposite direction and 300 feet before approaching, following, or passing a car in front of you. And whether it's night or day, when you do pass, always signal before and after passing. Also, make sure you can see the other vehicle in your rearview mirror before returning to the right lane. If that vehicle is a motorcycle, be extra careful. They're smaller and may be difficult to see in traffic. Just like a car, they're entitled full use of a traffic lane. And cyclists often change positions in their lane to see better or be seen. So pass a motorcycle like you would any other vehicle, in your own lane. In fact, always give motorcycles as much room as you can when they're near. When a police or other emergency vehicle is near with its siren on and lights flashing, move to the shoulder of the road as soon as you can. It's unlawful to pass on the shoulder to avoid waiting for a vehicle ahead to turn. You can also be ticketed for exiting driveways, private roads, or alleys without first stopping at the sidewalk and yielding to pedestrians or other vehicles. And you can't cut across private property like a gas station to avoid stopping or waiting at an intersection. Many intersections have signals with red, yellow, and green lights. Green signals drivers to go when pedestrians and other vehicles aren't in the intersection. Yellow warns the signal is changing to red, and red means stop. You may turn right on red after yielding to pedestrians and other vehicles with the right-of-way. Left turns on red are also permitted if you're turning from a one-way street onto another one-way street after yielding the right-of-way to other vehicles and pedestrians. But before you turn, give a continuous signal at least 100 feet in business and residential areas and 200 feet in all other areas. If you can't signal with your blinkers, use your left hand, this for right, this for left, and this for stop. If you're waiting to turn left at an intersection, keep your front wheels facing forward. If they're turned and you're hit, the impact can push you into oncoming traffic. So avoid a double whammy. Keep your wheels straight when stopped at intersections. If you're in an intersection waiting to turn, either right or left, and the light turns red, you may still proceed. But to be safe, turn to the closest open lane. At dangerous intersections, or when stop signs are hard to see, flashing red lights show drivers they need to stop. In most cases, though, stop signs are enough. Come to a complete stop at the solid white line or before the crosswalk, and make sure you have the right-of-way before entering the intersection. At a four-way stop intersection, the first driver to stop should be the first to go. If two vehicles stop at the same time and are on different roads like this, the one on the left should yield to the one on the right. Every road in Illinois has lines or markings which warn and direct drivers and control traffic. This solid white line marks the edge of the road. Broken yellow lines separate single lanes of traffic moving in opposite directions and show you can pass another vehicle if the opposite lane is clear. Where the broken yellow line is accompanied by a solid yellow line on your side of the road, don't pass. Typically, solid yellow lines will appear at hills or curves where it's dangerous to pass, and most likely will be accompanied by a pennant-shaped no passing zone sign. Roadway signs can be determined by shape or color. Yellow and orange are warning signs. Red means stop. White signs are usually regulatory and must be obeyed. Green ones show you where you are, which way to go, and how many miles it takes to get there. Blue ones inform you of services along the way, and brown ones for parks and recreation areas. Brown, blue, and green signs will always be rectangular and in some way guide you. Other rectangular signs are regulatory. Most are white with black letters and markings, such as one way and do not pass. Others, however, may be square with red shading or the universal ban sign. They include no U-turn, do not enter, no right turn. Yield or give right of way will always be triangular and red and white with red letters. Stop signs are red with white letters and are octagonal or eight-sided. Diamond-shaped signs warn drivers to slow down. Orange ones alert you to construction or maintenance areas ahead. And yellow, just about everything else. Pedestrian crossing, signal ahead, crossroad, reduction in lanes, and merge. Other yellow warning signs you should pay special attention to are school zone or school crossing signs, which means slow down to 20 miles per hour and watch for children. And also circular railroad crossing signs, which sometimes are the only warning before railroad crossings. When you see the sign, slow down, look, and listen for an approaching train before going across the tracks. In business or residential areas, railroad crossings have warning devices such as flashing light signals and gates. Drivers must stop between 15 and 50 feet before closed gates or flashing signals, and should never try to go around the gates or beat the train. You may lose. When the train is passed, wait for lights to stop flashing and look before crossing to make sure another train is not approaching if there's more than one track. These flashing lights and this extended arm signal also tell motorists they must stop. They're on a school bus, and they apply to motorists in both directions. The only time you may go by a stopped school bus is when you're traveling in the opposite direction on a 4-lane roadway. But if you're behind or next to a bus in that situation, you still must stop. Once you've reached your destination and have parked, lock the ignition, remove the key, and set the parking brake, which is especially important if you're downhill or uphill parking. When uphill parking, turn your wheels away from the curb and toward it when downhill parking. If there isn't curbing, always turn your wheels toward the side of the road on which you've parked. When parallel parking, park within 12 inches of the curb in the direction of traffic. Also, always remember not to drink and drive. Alcohol is a drug that hinders your motor skills, judgment, and driving ability, and is the single greatest factor in fatal motor vehicle crashes. That's why, in Illinois, if you drink and drive and get caught, you may lose your driving privileges, be fined, or sent to jail. If you're going to drink, choose a designated driver or allow yourself enough time for alcohol to leave your system before driving. Time is the only way to get sober, but the safest way is not to drink at all when you know you'll be driving. Most people realize the importance of driving soberly and following the rules of the road. To make sure you know how and to help you prepare for your driver's license exams, take the following quiz. It summarizes information in this program, which you'll find on Illinois' driver's license exam. How far are you required to stop before reaching a railroad crossing? Between 15 and 50 feet before the crossing. What's the single greatest factor in fatal motor vehicle crashes? Alcohol. Is it legal to pass on the shoulder of a road? No. What does this sign warn drivers of? Construction or maintenance area ahead. What do these signs mean? Merge, no right turn, no U-turn, railroad crossing, do not enter, pedestrian crossing, yield, stop, school zone, no passing zone. What should you do if your vehicle starts to skid? Ease off the gas pedal or brakes and steer into the direction of the skid. What's the only effective way to remove alcohol from the body? Time. True or false, is it against the law to pass a school bus on a 2-lane road that's picking up passengers? True. True or false, motorcycles are not necessarily allowed use of an entire lane of traffic. False. Motorcycles can use a full lane of traffic to be seen by other motorists. When are flashing red signal lights used? At dangerous intersections or when stop signs are hard to see. True or false, the 2-second rule is safe for all driving conditions. False. In rain or snow, the 2-second safe following distance between you and the vehicle in front should be increased to at least 4 seconds. True or false, at night, headlights should be dimmed 300 feet before meeting an oncoming car and 500 feet before overtaking another vehicle. False. It's the exact opposite. 500 feet before meeting an oncoming car and 300 feet before overtaking or following another. What should you do when an authorized emergency vehicle approaches using its sirens and flashing lights? Signal and pull over as soon as it's safe to. Which should be used in foggy driving conditions? High beam lights or low beam lights? Low beam lights. True or false, when parking uphill with a curb, your wheels should be pointed away from the curb? True. True or false, reducing your speed lowers your risk of being involved in an accident? True. True or false, Illinois law requires children under 4 years of age to be restrained in a child seat? True. In a business or residential area, how far before an intersection should you continuously signal for a turn? At least 100 feet. True or false, you must come to a complete stop when exiting an alley? True. True or false, is it unlawful to travel over private property to avoid an intersection? True. What does a single solid yellow line mean on your side of the road? Do not pass. Where should you stop your vehicle at a stop sign? At a marked stop line before entering the crosswalk or before entering the intersection if there is no crosswalk. And finally, what causes most rear-end collisions? Following too closely. If this quiz was easy, great. If not, go back and watch this tape again. Or go to any driver's services facility and pick up our Rules of the Road study guide. Then, when you're out on the road, always stay alert, drive defensively, and follow the rules of the road to help ensure your well-being and the well-being of others.